Hello, everybody. Season 3, episode 26. Let's get at it. We have had no shortage of material to present. Yes, I was off last week, or I didn't do the podcast last week. I talk about that at the beginning of this podcast as to why. Great little story. Um, as I said in the description, the Canadian Circus is in full swing. So we talk about Disney Plus lady and how she dodged a bullet, um, not losing her job in the shuffle, and pissing off Maritimers and taking credit for not where credit is due, and then the prime rate increase and that domino effect that went down the pipe. So uh, I really try to unpack a little bit, to use the most current popular term. I really try to unpack what's going on right now in the economy. Okay, because there's a lot of factors pulling different directions, and it's really tough to figure out what direction it's going. Half the time, I don't even know where the hell it's going, but it always changes directions. Anyway, without further ado, oh, and by the way, a quick reminder, I think our system only accepts 5-star reviews, so if you don't mind, slap me down with a 5-star review. Say how much you love the podcast. Like me, love me, follow me, want me, whatever. Love to see the love. There you go. There's a new term right there. Trademark that. Love to see the love. Let's get on with the podcast.
Welcome to the Green Effect Podcast. Finance, life, business, and everything in between. And now, your host, Stephen Green.
Hello, everybody. Season 3, episode 26. Green Effect Podcast on the air. So, missed last week. I apologize. I received some hate mail about that. I know it's part of your being, but I'll be honest with you. Personally, a little bit busy. Obviously, listen, mortgages have slowed down a little bit, and I'm going to talk about that in this podcast. But you all know that I'm now a mortgage agent, and I'm growing a team, and it's been busy talking to potential folks to join the financial collective teams. So, there is Stephen Green Mortgages, and that's the mortgages that I do. That's kind of the main brand, but I'm also growing what we call, it's branded as the Financial Collective, and that's where we're bringing on new agents, basically. And it's a lot of fun. It's not a massive, huge operation, but it's one of those things where I've done a lot of work with technology and making it easy for people, and I don't know, I think I do kind of a good job with mortgages and talking to people and partners and stuff like that. And you know what? I want to share that with others and grow a bit of a business out of it. I don't need 80 agents. I don't even think I have 80 friends or 80 people I know. So, I want kind of a little small team, and that's what I've been busy with, talking to people, sharing stories, and seeing how others are doing. And it's a lot of work, I won't lie. I think when you want to have someone to be part of your brand that you've worked really hard towards, you take the time, and not everyone's a good fit, and that's okay. But I will say this, I think the mortgage industry, man, it's like real estate. It's tough. It's really, really tough. And I think it's tough to find a home with a brokerage that you really enjoy and you're getting value out of. And I hear stories from agents who have maybe been in the business, let's say less than a year, less than 2 years, in one case, less than 3 weeks. And it's crazy to me sometimes the lack of support that's out there for these new mortgage agents. And I'm telling you, it's tough when you're starting out, but it's even tougher when you don't have the support. And listen, support has different kind of looks to it, but basic support, business acumen, stuff like that. So anyway, long story short, that's what I've been busy with. That's why I completely missed last week's podcast. I've just been busy talking to a lot of people and looking to grow the team and stuff like that. So anyway, having said that, there is no shortage of weird shit going on out there. So I got a few things to talk about, and it's probably good I've waited 2 weeks to do this podcast because it all kind of came together. So the timing and the sequence of everything was obviously all everything started with the Bank of Canada prime rate increase a week and a half ago. Okay, so if you've been living under a rock or lucky enough to be on vacation where there's no internet or phone, you would have heard obviously that the Bank of Canada increased rates by 0.25%. Okay, not shocked here, but it was really weird. This one was more. People are more angry. People are really, really angry. And I'm going to touch on this a little bit later, but I really think the anger is misdirected. I really, really do. Well, maybe I will talk about this briefly right now. So Tiffy Boy and the D.O.C. there. It's not D.O.C. It's B.O.C. Isn't that funny? The play on words for the Bank of Canada is always the B.O.C., kind of like the D.O.C. Department of Corrections from NWA back in the 90s. And if I'm dating myself, I'm sorry, but it's happening. Anyway, I accidentally said the DOC, but it's the BOC. And I'm looking at my post and I'm going to put out, and it actually says the DOC. So I'm going to have to correct that. Anyway, there's a lot of anger towards them. This is too much. You're killing us, the whole bit. Listen, let's just look at this. All right. Tiffy Boy, he done screwed this one up. He really did, right? 2020, basically giving us free reign. Rates are going to be low for a long time. Go spend, my children. Well, guess what we all did? Did what Tiffy Boy there said, and well, we all spent money. Like, we did what you told us to. And yes, I understand now this is him retracting all the stuff that he said to do, because I don't think he'll ever misspeak like that again. Like, keep your yap shut, buddy. Seriously, don't say anything. But here's the problem. I don't actually blame him now. Yeah, I know he created this whole problem. I get it. But he's actually not making this worse. And I can't believe I'm defending that man. I think I said that's in the last podcast. I cannot believe I'm defending him. However, it's not him now. We got an issue at the federal government level. Okay? Stop spending money. Seriously, just stop. And yes, I know people need money. I know that. I get it. But I know 11 million people receive that grocery benefit thing for like $400. Can you please explain to me why all of our kids got it? So most of us are trying to be middle class. Okay? You want to walk me through why the kids, because they were under that income, I'm talking about the 18 to 22-year-olds, which are mostly still living at home, okay? You want to explain to me why they freaking got money? Because they don't need it. Well, maybe they do, but they don't. The families they're part of need it. So, stuff like that doesn't make any sense. I found it earlier, a couple of days ago, and I can't find it now, but there's another benefit coming out for a bunch of people for like $1,200 or something. I don't know what it is, to be honest with you, but Bucko ain't got the money. He really doesn't. So stop spending. Okay? There's a lot of inflationary things happening, and you also have to remember, I talk to clients, people are living off their credit cards and lines of credit. Well, here's the thing. That's not real money. Think about this for just a moment, okay? You take money off your line of credit. What have you just done? You've just created money. You have just printed your own money. And you're putting it into the economy. Think about that for a second. Every time we use a credit card or a line of credit, we make inflation worse. Okay? So not only are we being charged all these extra taxes, and I'm going to talk about Disney Plus lady in a second, how she kept her job this week. I haven't got a freaking clue, but that's a whole other problem. But when we're doing all these inflationary measures and we're increasing it, what do you think Tiffy's got to do? Because the second we have hope, everybody's going to start spending again. It's like a drug. We're all addicted to this spending drug. And we're all creating inflation because we're living off credit. The middle class? What middle class? Walk me through how the middle class is amazing right now. There's has-beens and has-not-beens. Has-not-beens? Will not be. Okay. So, anyway. All right, so let's talk about Disney Plus lady, otherwise known as Chrystia. I didn't even know her name was Chrystia. Chrystia? Like, just I don't can't pronounce her name, but Disney Plus lady is really easy to pronounce. So, oh my God, she. Sorry if you hear a blender in the background. That's my wife blending a drink upstairs. So, Chrystia Freeland, God bless her, nice lady, I'm sure. Have you ever seen someone more clueless? Like, I would encourage you to go to TikTok or YouTube and just listen to her talk. When she talks, what's going through her head? Like, it's just insane. So, a couple of things happened with her this week. First thing, she dodges a bullet. All right? How Justin Trudeau does not reshuffle her ass out of a job, like out of the cabinet, I have no idea. What is that man smoking? Seriously. Okay? Anyone who's got a poor track record should be gone. The Minister of Finance should not be the Minister of Finance right now. That's one issue. That's story number one with her this week. Okay? Story number two. Watch videos with her. She's taking all this credit for the damn inflation coming down to 2.8%, which I might add, don't believe the hype. Okay? So she's talking about, oh my god, it's so great. Look, we got the inflation rate down. We? Who's we? Back up the truck a second. Okay? So that's another issue I got with Disney Plus lady. And then she goes to PEI. Yes, let's piss off the Maritimers. God bless those people. They are the nicest people out there. They have been through hell and back, all right? Over history, and just this year alone, forest fires, flooding, last year hurricanes or tornado or whatever it was. Yes, let's go to the Maritimes and brag about the amazing stuff we're doing with energy, clean energy, okay? And by the way, all you Maritimers who really do depend on fuel, we're going to tax your asses. I would encourage you, listen to her comments. I have never met a more clueless minister. Like, clueless. She is very well trained on saying nothing. So I have a few bones to pick with her. And to summarize a little bit, other than me just saying how horrible she is, I really think that this is an issue we have right now with politicians. Okay? Here's the punchline. We have a huge mistrust of politicians. Pierre Poilievre, I always get that name wrong. Listen, he's on a feeding frenzy right now at these screw ups by the federal government. Okay, I worry a little bit. I love what he's saying. I like it. Will he do any better? I don't know, because I have this huge distrust of politicians. Disney Plus lady's one of them. JT's the other. Right? I know Tiffy Boy's not a politician, but he may as well be. Same damn thing. Right? So I think what we really have to do as a society, and I don't know if we can, are we so far down the road this will never get fixed? We got to start holding people to account. How the Bank of Canada is giving any of their employees, and listen, maybe I should rephrase that, how they're giving the management and the leaders of the Bank of Canada bonuses for the complete colossal screw-ups, I have no idea. I thought bonuses were performance-based, right? The federal government, how we hold them account? Unfortunately, we're going to have to vote them out. Right? Like, it's such a distasteful, distrustful political landscape right now in Canada. I don't think it's much better in the US or elsewhere, but isn't this Canada? Like, do we not hold ourselves to a slightly higher standard? Like, I think we really need to think about this as Canadians in general. And when I hear such low numbers at the voting polls, I'm a little pissed off about that. If you're younger, if you're older, get your ass to the voting polls and start voting. Like, seriously. Because it's just not working right now. You know? Anyway. All right. Let's talk about inflation, prime rate, and the bond prices. So, this is the sequence of events that has occurred. All right? So, oh God, where do I start? So Tiffy Boy jacks up the rates, and then everyone is totally pitchforks and torching this guy, okay? Even though it's probably, at this point, it's the only thing he can do anyway. Well, then we have an issue because inflation comes out. And then the inflation rate's, quote, only 2.8%. We're all throwing parties in the streets, okay? Folks, it's 1 month. This is why I always say, the Canadian economy and Canadians in general, they just need hope. Give us hope, things are going to be okay, and we will follow. Okay? So inflation comes down. Now Tiffy Boy is the enemy. He's doing too much. He's killing Canadians. Blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, you have Chrystia Freeland, celebrating because it's all her idea or it's all because of what she's done, right? Well, then you have another factor that has happened, and this is actually very recent. So, because of increased job numbers and a few, and a few other factors, we've had a surge in the bond prices. So, let me just paint this picture because it's important to understand. People get this wrong all the time, and it's just because it's just understanding how it works. So the variable rate mortgages. So sometimes people will call me and say, "Oh my God, I got to lock in my rate. I heard the rates are going up next week." Well, remember, Bank of Canada moving the prime lending rate only directly impacts variable rate mortgages. Does it indirectly impact other things? Of course it does, but directly impacts variable rate mortgages. What directly impacts fixed rate mortgages are the bond prices, because that's where, simply put, high level, that's where the banks get their money to fund their mortgages. Again, there's a lot more complexities there, but let's just say that for now, okay? Well, when bond prices go up, fixed rates go with them because we are currently in what we call an inverted curve. Again, I'm not going to go down that road. I'll probably butcher it anyway. I get it, but we'll leave it at that. Okay? All you need to know is bond prices up, fixed rates go up. Bond prices go down, fixed rates go down. So we've just had bond prices spike. The 5-year government bond actually spiked over 4%. For the first time since I believe 2007. So 15 years, we'll call it. Okay. And the issue with that becomes now fixed rates are going to go up. Now, if you know anything about mortgages right now, the last 8 months, almost everybody, again, depending on your situation, etc., is taking a fixed rate mortgage of some sort. 5-year, 3-year, 2-year, whatever. Okay. So what's going to end up happening here is now fixed rates are going to go up. So we've got a higher rate on the prime rate. So variable rate mortgages are going to cost more. People with variable rate mortgages are going to have to pay more. Qualification is going to be tougher on the variable side. But then you've got the other part of it, which is the fixed rate mortgages. They're going to continue to go up. So we are squeezing affordability right now, okay? And it's getting worse from an affordability perspective. So what does this mean? So people can't afford as much, so guess what? They're not going to buy a house, okay? If you make 6 figures, so remember how before, oh my God, I make $100,000 a year, that's amazing. Well, great. You can afford a townhouse, maybe, with a condo fee in Sarnia. No offense to the people in Sarnia. However, you're looking at a purchase price of maybe $300, $325, and you make 6 figures, roughly. Default insured mortgage, okay? I don't want to get any hate mail from people in Sarnia. Please, I like it there. It's a very nice place. I'm just saying it's a smaller town. Don't get offended, okay? So that's happening. If that happens, there's other crap that happens. Rent prices will go up because the demand is going to go up. And we all know, let's keep going down this domino effect line of shit. People are looking for rentals, can't find them. There's more demand. Supply is down because people aren't buying houses to rent out, and construction has pretty much stopped. Okay? If any construction is happening, it's pretty limited, okay? Rent prices go up, people can't afford that, people become homeless, people lose jobs, and we go back to this pent-up demand, okay? We go back into hibernation, and people are going to stop buying, and it's just going to make it worse, believe it or not. So we are caught between a rock and a really hard place right now, like super hard, right? What is the solution? Well, anytime you talk about supply and demand, there is one thing that I have said over and over and over again that I think we need to get control of. Not stop, get control of. And that is immigration. We need immigration. I am a child of immigrants. Right? Second generation, is that what you call it? My parents were born here, but my grandparents were not. I get it. Not at these levels, though, my friends. Not at these levels. There's no more room at the inn. There's just not. And I'm hearing rumors and stories of immigrants coming here and being like, what the fuck is going on here? And leaving. What's worse? Like, right? So I think that's part of the solution. It is not the solution, but I think it's where you start. I really do. I'm not saying stop immigration. But guys, the number of people we have coming in is insane. Right? Like, we have to control this a little bit. Anyway, so we're going to probably see fixed rates increase. Obviously, variable is going to go up. And then, of course, comes the question of what happens at the next rate in the next Bank of Canada announcement. Okay? I'm sorry, man. My thought right now is a high probability of one more increase. It really is. But it's going to depend on the inflation numbers next month. I really do. Because 1 month is not a true trend. Okay? I'm seeing less people out for dinners. I'm seeing less people traveling. A lot of stuff is happening there. Okay? But I really, truly think unless the federal government starts doing something instead of changing zero of their behaviors, I don't think Tiffy Boy can avoid it. I really think he's going to have to do one more rate increase. And if that does happen, man, we're going to have the same sort of episode soon just to see what the fallout will be, right? And I'm seeing a lot of economists saying, oh, they're gonna hold now. They're gonna hold this rate for a little while. Yeah, well, he already said he was gonna pause. That lasted a couple of months, and he's right back to it. But again, he's stuck, guys. He's got to do it. I don't think he can stop. I think he's got to go a little bit higher, see what happens until shit gets under control. And I'm telling you, you keep bringing in this many people into this country. Okay. And again, we need immigration 100%, but we have too many people here. We keep bringing that many people into the country. Okay. And your federal government keeps spending like they have an open book to spend whatever they want. And all the other things I've spoken about. People keep using unsecured debt. They're printing their own money. That alone is inflationary. This might not end well. It might not end well. All right. On that note, let's end that there. Okay. I would love to hear your comments. It is one of the most fascinating times out there right now. I would love to hear your comments as to what you think is going to happen. Okay. And I don't know. Let's hear your solutions. How do we fix this ship that is clearly going in the wrong direction? And it's like you got two people paddling the opposite direction, and it's never going to go anywhere. All right. How do we end this? What is it? Keep fit and have fun? Is that how we're going to start ending this podcast? Maybe we do. Anyway, hey, don't forget, like me, love me, follow me, want me, desire me, need me. 5-star review. I think the system only accepts a 5-star review. I don't think it accepts anything less than that. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you for listening to the Green Effect Podcast. Subscribe to this podcast on iTunes or Google Play so you catch the next episode. And don't forget to leave a review. Much appreciated.